All right, now it is time for our Insight of the Week. Crimson, what do you got for us?
Okay, Lori. So this week's Insight of the Week you're going to love because it's from one of the OGs that we love. So the Insight of the Week comes to us from the great Socrates. The only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. And I really wanted to bring this to the table because why didn't someone tell me this when I was younger? I don't think I truly appreciated what wisdom meant. But when I look back at my life, I knew everything, Lori. When I was like 16 to 18, I was at my peak knowledge, I had life figured out. I knew what path I was taking. I understood the world better than anyone. I was obviously never wrong. I walked into college and then 9/11 happened. And let's be honest, that was the moment I realized I knew absolutely nothing. And so part of me misses the days where I thought I knew everything. In fact, last night I watched three 13-year-old boys try to negotiate how to make mac and cheese together. And their complete ignorant confidence, is that a word? I'm making it one. Their confidence in their ignorance reminded me of when I used to believe I knew everything. So I love this quote because wisdom truly, for me, has become accepting the great truth that I know nothing. What do you think, Lori?
Yes, 100% yes. I think I was in adulthood too when I learned this. There's something about our brain as it goes through adolescence. The brain really believes that it knows everything,
Yep.
And this is a maddening thing when you're on the other side of it and you're like, oh, I remember those days. Good news or not good news. We don't know everything. And I do think one of the biggest gifts I've ever given myself is learning how to lean into the humility of I know nothing
Right.
at all. But I think it takes a lot of regulation to sit in the humility of not knowing anything. And I believe that that is part of the reason why it is earned wisdom in life and not just something that is given. You
Yep.
have to learn to sit with the discomfort of being like, yeah, I don't know. No idea. I didn't even know that was a problem.
Well, it's funny. There's small examples of that in my professional career. I've noticed I always had fairly good jobs, which is how I put myself through college at the rate that I did. But I worked at a business consulting firm when I was 18 and I was a freshman in college. And just the dumb things of like someone would call in for the CEO and leave a message, I wouldn't catch their name. And I just, instead of asking again, I just was confidently okay with, they don't need to know. They'll call the number back. And the CEO would walk in and be like, and who was it? I don't know. I didn't get the name and I didn't want to ask again. It doesn't matter. And that was so stupid of me. And I think as you get older, you ask more questions, you ask someone to repeat themselves. You don't have that arrogance of like, well, I just know, I'll figure it out. It'll all come
Yeah.
together, right? But
Yep.
I mean, that's part of youth, and that's part of the reason it's so scary to have little children or bigger children
Yep.
that don't have fully formed brains that are out there thinking they know everything. I mean, my
Yep.
13-year-old absolutely knows everything.
My soon to be 6-year-old told me the other day that she knows everything and that she knows everything and that
Yeah.
she's the smartest one in the house. And I'm like, the only thing I disagree with is that you know everything.
But there are people that think they do know everything in adulthood. I mean, my aunt, she's very successful and wealthy. And I remember we got in an argument when I was like 22 because she thought grad school was a bad idea. And I was like, you really do think you know everything? And she goes, I do. In fact, I should start an agency called I Know Everything. And I thought, girl, you be 55 years old and you be acting like 15-year-old Crimson. There are people that never hit this wisdom, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's maddening. It's maddening because I think it's an inauthentic way to show up, in my opinion.
It's an exhausting way to
Because,
show up.
yeah, right? Like, it's just like if you're always right, like, you're just, I don't know, there's no room there for you to grow, to change, to shift, to adapt to what are very dynamic surroundings that we find ourselves in.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm very happy to say me and Socrates, we go way back. But yeah, I know nothing.
Yeah, I had to pick him when I was picking quotes because Socrates. All right, well, now that we are content with knowing nothing, let's discuss what we think we know.